Hi, friends, it's Kathy, and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's in the Cards Divination. Today, we're going to be doing another Pick a Pile free reading, and today's question is about job search. What's coming? So, for those of you who are interested in looking for a new job or are in the process of looking for a job, then this will be the reading for you. As in the past, I've explained about the Pick a Pile readings, but before we get into that, I would just ask if you could kindly subscribe to my channel and click on the like button and the bell for notification of any future upcoming videos. As well, I'd love it if you could leave comments in the comment field. Right, so explaining Pick a Pile, we have 3 piles here. This is a general reading. So if you pick a pile that does not resonate with you, then you can always choose another pile. So from these 3 piles, you're going to pause the video here and you're going to see which pile feels like it has a message for you. And then you can go in the description box below in the timestamps. You can go forward to pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. All right, so before we get started, let's have a look at the piles to see which one might resonate for you. Pile 1's card is referring to the crown chakra. For those of you who are not familiar, the crown chakra is the light energy that is emanating from the top of our heads. Okay, so pile 1 is about the crown chakra. Pile 2 is sacral chakra. And that one is usually located somewhere in the, trying to think of this way to describe it, somewhere below the belly button. On inside our energy field is the sacral chakra. And then the third card is listen to your intuitive feelings. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pause this video now and take a look at which pile resonates for you, pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3, and go into the timestamp below to receive your reading. And as I mentioned, if it does not resonate with you, don't worry about it. You can always pick another pile or wait for an upcoming video that may resonate for you. Right, so pause the video and let's get into your reading about job searches or any job situations coming up this year, 2023. Or if you are listening to this at a later date than 2023, it can be timeless. It can be any year. It doesn't have to be 2023. It's whenever it speaks to you at that time, okay? All right, so let's get started and I'll see you in your reading. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose the crown chakra, then this is your reading. Okay, let's start off with our tarot cards and see what is going to potentially be happening as far as jobs this year for you in the upcoming year. First card, the Judgment. Okay, next card, Temperance. 2 major arcana cards. Wow, so far, something big. And we have the 3 of Wands. Okay, so let's start with tarot. There is a situation here that an upcoming job situation. In fact, you could already be in the middle of it right now. Although I think maybe not. For some of you, it's still coming. But there is something from your past that you felt very strongly hold to as an occupation or career choice. You may have even left it behind, gone on, did other things, and now it's coming back to you. And this opportunity will be presented to you this year. It's not just a job. It is something you've really wanted to do, maybe even since you were a young person. This is one of those jobs where you felt call, like you knew since you were young. Some people just know. Some kids know when they're little. You hear about that? Yeah, oh, I want to be a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher. These are the people that I often used to envy them when they were kids. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. Well, now it's coming to you. There's been in your life, sometimes we put it aside for other responsibilities and situations, but now it's coming forward. And it looks like that this career move could actually, might even be a move in it. You may have to move far away to do this job. In fact, I would almost say that's certain based on the Three of Wands. It is a situation where either you are working remotely away from home, because you see how she's looking towards somewhere else, like home. I'm looking towards where I want to be. Okay. So temperance then tells me that this particular situation, it's putting one foot in one place and you'll have one foot in another. So yeah, it's almost like your home life will be in one area, obviously, and then the job could be somewhere else. So it's this kind of, I don't know if it's even back and forth, but you're trying to keep the peace. You're trying to keep everything going well. You're trying to keep the job going well. You're trying to keep your home life going well. Um, it may require some compromise in this situation, okay, with your home life. It's, and so you start doubting, should I even be doing this? There's a piece of you that just wants to be at home. You can see that. It's like, why did I do this? If you take it, it's like, I should just, you know, why did I just not stay where I was? It's out of your comfort zone, in other words. But the good news is, even though you feel like you're going to be pulled in two different directions, it appears to be what you've been wanting to do, and it's important, okay? So let's look at the crown chakra card. What it says: pay attention to your ideas as they are messages of the true divine guidance sent in answer to your prayers. Okay. So the crown chakra, as I mentioned, it's a direct connection of energy between the top of our heads and the divine. So the ideas then come into the mind through this energy into the crown chakra and is flowing from there. So you will receive messages and pay attention to those, because there'll be times that you think, I shouldn't do this. I don't think I should do this. It's not for me. I thought it was. Maybe it's just not what I wanted after all. Because you know what? Like I say, it takes you out of your comfort zone. But I'm here to tell you that the other oracle card I pulled when I asked about it said yes. So, in other words, when you start questioning and fearing, and you feel like this is not where I need to be, it is telling you it is where you need to be. It's not a bad thing, okay? So, not to stress about that. It looks like you're going in the right direction, even though it doesn't feel like it. Okay. Now, most people would be concerned about the time period. And I know when I looked at all these readings today, I was thinking most people want to know, like, when is this going to happen? When is this coming? And the problem is with tarot or any of the card systems, it's never 100% accurate on time. And there's many reasons for that. We know a lot of people have input into how things go. For example, especially with jobs, there's the hiring, the HR, there's so many people involved that it's hard with any certainty to pinpoint a time or even a yes or no answer. It can change because of free will. Um, there's also our own free will. We change things too. But I thought I would check in and see. So let's see which card I pulled for that. And I did pull another tarot card to see. Just bear with me here. And I got the wheel, which is the wheel of fortune. Okay. So what I see with that, it's not telling me a definitive time frame, months, days, years, or anything like weeks or anything like that. What it's telling me is number one, the situation is out of your control, it's out of your hands. It's going to happen with the help of other people and divine. Because this is when the Wheel of Fortune is kind of like, oh, is the wheel going to bring me luck or is it going to be bad luck? So, in other words, you feel like it's out of your hands, okay? Out of control. And that also means that other things have to happen before this situation can happen. So they don't want to give you a definitive timeline because there's too many things that are at play here. Okay. So unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly when, but it is definitely in the works. Okay. So pay attention to ideas that come to you about this type of thing where you're starting to get messages. Sometimes they come in the form of synchronicities, right? We've talked about that, where you get little signs. Oh, is that a coincidence or is that really what's happening? Let me just try to straighten that. So know this, that it's not going to be easy necessarily. There's going to be this period where you just don't know. You're being pulled actually in three directions because it is the Three of Wands. You're being pulled what your family and your loved ones want. You're being pulled what your boss and your job wants, and you're also being pulled by what you want. So there's three at play here, okay? So you need to pay attention to what it is that is really, what was it about this initially that you really attracted you, maybe even when you were young? What is it that is this like your dream, something you've always wanted, as I had mentioned when you were young, and you life kind of got in the way, and you put it aside, and some of you just thought, you know what, it's not going to happen. Well, it's going to happen. I'm here to tell you that this is the year. As well, for some of you, even if it's not meant that you are away, sometimes this can also refer to a job of when you start a business, okay, and you're putting plans into place. So, yes, you may be thinking this year that that's where you want to go as well. Maybe it is starting your own business. Maybe that's something you always wanted to do. It's now resurfacing again. It's coming forward. There will be situations and ideas coming for you where it'll remind you that maybe this is what I should be doing now. And what it is telling me, if that is your course of action, make sure you don't jump in too heavy. In other words, moderation. Do things slowly, be patient, put in the work, put in the planning. In some cases, some of you may even get help from other people for this venture. Okay. So I hope that answers some people's questions. Regardless of your situation, pile number one, there is something coming for you. Pay attention to the signs and the messages you're getting, ideas that are coming into your mind, and step out of your comfort zone. It's telling you, yes, okay. All right, my dear friends, pile number one, I hope you enjoyed this reading. And I look forward to our next reading together. Bye for now. Hi, pile number two. If you chose the sacral chakra, then this is your reading. All right, we're looking at upcoming jobs. Let's see what we can find out. All right, tarot. The first card is the Eight of Cups. Upright. So then we have the Queen of Cups. Right. And finally, the Ace of Cups. Upright. Wow. Okay. So let's start off by looking at this. There are a lot of you this year are wanting to make a change. The Eight of Cups is indicating that it might be the time to move on from where you are right now. For those of you that already have a job, in fact, you have given it some thought last year, and now you just want to put behind you a situation. You've had enough of it. It's like, okay, I'm done with this. It's time to move in another direction. Well, I'm here to tell you there is another job situation here for you. The Ace of Cups is actually referring to a new start in a new situation. And it most likely, for most of you, it would be outside where you are currently. It wouldn't necessarily be within the actual organization you are now. Now, having said that, that's not necessarily the case. It can be both. It could be within the organization. The fact that it's all cups tells me something. This is a very emotion-based situation. This job is not doing it for you, the one you're currently in. It's not giving you that fulfillment that you so need. You're a very sensitive person, you're very caring. In fact, this Queen of Cups here tells me that this woman could be instrumental in helping you find this new offer. And she could be someone that is very dear to you. A good friend, a coworker who you really care about, somebody that has your best interests at heart and is very much of the same mindset as you are. They want you to be happy in your job because they themselves are fairly happy. Okay. So this job this new start in a new position is coming this year for you, and it looks really good. It's going to give you what you need emotionally. So thank goodness you can let this one go and move on because this is coming. So I asked, because everybody wants to know when. When is this going to happen? And I've explained this before in other videos that the tarot does not give as accurate timelines as everybody would like to see. So it's hard to predict with any certainty because so many factors are at play. Sometimes it can be other people's free will, HR, or yourself, maybe you're stalling, whatever the case is. It doesn't always give the most accurate timelines. But I did pull a card anyways because I thought I want to see what this is going to be about. So when I asked how long before this new offer comes, I did get this Six of Swords, which is interesting because the Six of Swords card in and of itself is about moving onto a better situation. Okay. So swords represent to me weeks in timeline. So potentially within 6 weeks, 2 months maybe, there could be this offer coming your way, which is very exciting. Okay, so then I pulled a couple oracles for you, and again, but in the near future. So it's just validating it's coming very soon. So you better pay attention. And the other one is don't stop. So, in other words, keep going. Even if you feel like it's not going to be the right choice for you, it's hard to leave. When you already have a job, it's hard to leave it. It's easier to leave a job easier to get a job when you have a job, as they say. And I think that that's kind of what is going to happen here. It's kind of when I'm feeling that the situation is like, I've made up my mind. That's it. I want to get out of this situation. There's going to be someone you're talking to, maybe a boss or a coworker, and they're going to mention to you about this offer. Okay. This is a good thing. This is going to give you what you need to walk away from this situation. You don't want to go back to this particular negative situation. And so the Queen of Cups as well. What I got when I pulled that card and I saw her looking into this bowl, it's like, as well, look into yourself, look in the mirror and, see what is it you really want. What is it about this situation that makes you want to walk away? It's obvious, but other times it's not always. And most of the time, when we're not feeling fulfilled, we become bored or complacent, or it's too easy and we need a challenge. So it's also the Queen of Cups is actually telling me that you need to take another look at yourself and what it is you really want. Because in some cases, most cases, we don't really know whether or not we want to leave behind what we have. This card often represents somebody who's finally made that decision when it's upright like this. There's no looking back. They're going head first out that door. And you can see by the hiker in the picture, they're leaving behind some broken feelings and glasses, but all's good. They're like, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't need to be treated this way. I don't need this situation anymore. I deserve something better. Okay. So pay attention as well to any women in your life. And it does, like I've often said, it doesn't always have to be a female, but I feel it's definitely, I feel a female person because sometimes the queens can come through as they can be men with more of a feminine or in touch with their emotions. So it doesn't necessarily speak to gender when the queen or the king or the page or the knight comes up. But in this case, I really do feel it is somebody who, whether it's a male or a female, is very much very loving, very kind, has your best interests at heart. You get along really well with them. And it can, for some of you, it can even be a mother figure. It doesn't necessarily have to be a coworker. Because sometimes when the queens show up in the upright position, they can refer to your mother or a mother figure. Okay? So, regardless of that, it looks really good. They want you to be happy. And because it's all cups, that's what this has to deal with is emotions. This is not about money or making more money per se. This is about being fulfilled emotionally, okay? Because our career takes up, our jobs take up most of our life. There's no point going in there every day or being at work all the time and not being happy and not being fulfilled. Okay. So you can see that there is this opportunity coming, and it almost seems like it's kind of divine. Like, oh, where did this come from? Out of nowhere, right? So it's like you're being offered this chance. And basically, what this little dove with the carrying the dove carrying the branch, it's like pay attention to that when these opportunities come your way. Most likely through, as I say, this female person who really has your back. Don't stop. Don't look back. Don't turn around. Don't look back. Keep going to the other side, and it's coming very soon in the near future. This is very exciting because not many times do we often get to find a situation that meets our emotional needs when it comes to jobs. And for anybody right now, in this situation who is not currently in a job, although I feel like this definitely reflects that. For those of you who are unemployed at this time and looking for work, yes, again, the same scenario, except you might require yourself to have to move. You may have to walk in a different direction, maybe outside your city, outside your country. But again, there is this person in your life who's going to come forward and mention and help you with this situation. So, good news either way to whoever is looking for a job in pile two. So, it seems pretty clear to me we've got this covered. So, pay attention. That's what it's saying. The sacral chakra, which we did not cover yet, talks about, now this is, as I said, is below your belly button, that energy field that flows in around the reproductive organ area. It says you're highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, energies right now. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and relationships. Oh, that makes total sense. That's what this is. You're very sensitive. You're a very sensitive person, your emotions, and that's what it's telling you. Walk away from anything toxic. All right. So that makes total absolute sense. You will know. You know if it's toxic or not. Walk away, my friends. Walk away. There is something else there waiting for you. All right, my dear. I will send this out to you. And pile number two, I hope you enjoy this reading. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hi, pile number three. If you chose listen to your intuitive feelings, then this is your reading. Okay, so let's put this over here and start with tarot. I have already dealt, and we're going to see what's coming this year for you with respect to job situations. Okay, the first card, Five of Pentacles. The second card, the Empress. And our third is the Page of Wands in the reverse position. Okay, so what I'm seeing is this reading applies a lot to people who are currently unemployed. Well, it's both. It's unemployed. We'll deal with that first. The people who do not have a job at this time and are job searching. This is the epitome of feeling broke. All right. You're down on your luck. You're absolutely finished and you have nowhere to turn. Well, I'm here to tell you there is something coming. And the reason I say that, couple reasons. Number one, the Page of Wands. Even though he's in the reverse position, he is telling us about an offer, an exciting offer coming your way this year. So, and it is something that's very motivating and very exciting and very creative and something you really want to do. And it is actually about creating. In fact, the Empress tells me it might be a job where you are actually making things, creating things, building things, putting things together. And it's like in beautiful things, like making it from scratch and with your own hands and doing it that way. It may not necessarily just be physical things. It can be electronically. It could be anything that is beautiful that you have made, whether it's art or whatever design. This is what the Empress is telling me. Okay, so basically, the idea is the Page of Wands with this offer, it's going to be coming to you, but because it's in the reverse position, it tells me there could be a delay. It may not come right away. In fact, you might think, you probably be at a point where you think, I didn't get that job. I'm not going to get it. And then all of a sudden you're going to hear, okay? And the reason I say that is because I pulled some oracle cards, and the first one I pulled said yes, which is hugely positive if you were thinking you're not going to get it. And the second oracle card is success. Well, how much more can you say than that, right? So even though you think you won't be, it shows it will. So The Page of Wands in the reverse just means that there could be some delay or hold up or something wrong with the situation that it doesn't come through immediately. Okay. So for those of you who are in a job right now, the Five of Pentacles is telling me you are feeling you have been put aside for a promotion or an increase in pay because of the Five of Pentacles being about a lack of money, most likely. You're feeling left out. You feel like you have been, they've walked on you and ignored you. You put in a lot of hard work and that you're not valued in your job. That's how you're feeling. Okay, for the people that actually do have a job, for the majority, it's not for everybody. As I say, this is a general reading. It can apply to some, but not to everybody. The Empress then tells me, again, there is going to be an offer, as I said in the last, and it could very well take longer than you thought to come through. You need to be patient. In fact, the Empress could be saying, um, somebody might be going on maternity leave, and you might be able to get something while they're gone. Some of you, it's a maternity leave situation. For others, they may even create a position where you are that would suit you. In fact, if they do that, my feeling is that they haven't really looked past you, because even though it feels to you like you've been ignored and left out in the cold, they may have been actually putting something together behind the scenes for you that's coming your way this year. The problem is it might take a little longer than you hoped or wished for. So don't despair, okay? You need to be more patient in this situation because success is coming in this, okay? Now, when I asked about timeline, because everybody always wants to know, when is this going to happen? When? Now, unfortunately, um, timelines in tarot are never really that great for reading. I can give you what I pulled because it sounds reasonable, but there's so many things at play in with the cards. When we think about timelines, there's so many people's free will, your own free will, things that happen along the way that can change the outcome. So it doesn't always match up. And in this case, it's even telling you it could be not as good as far as waiting, like a delay at this. Often when it's in the reverse, I get a delay, especially when it's in relation to an offer of some kind, like a new opportunity, a new project, a new job. Okay. So when I pulled to see when, I actually pulled the Queen of Wands. So what that tells me is that this job coming about is could be delayed or it could come about as a result of her. In other words, we don't know exactly the timeline, although the Page of Wands, and she's also a wand, would suggest very quickly. But I said that, as I mentioned, there's a delay in this situation, but it's because of her that this situation, they can't give you a timeline. It's up to her free will as to how this is going to go about. And that could very well be for some of you that may end up, it's a maternity leave situation. You have to wait for this Queen of Wands as to what she's going to do. Or for the situations where they're creating it and they're working on this new job for you, or it could very well be that this woman, she's in charge of this and maybe she's getting held up. Maybe you don't know the situation behind the scenes. She's working on it and she's in your favor and she's trying to, in fact, she usually, the Queen of Wands is a boss or a manager she's represented as. So it could very well be that it's in her court to get this situation going. But as I say, it might take a little longer than you had thought. You thought you would hear something sooner, and it might be a little slower. So don't despair because it is definitely coming for you. I can't believe how positive this is showing up, these readings. So here, let me go back here For this, we want to do the listen to your intuitive feeling card. We didn't cover that off. So, what it's telling me is when you are doubting the situation, okay, when the actual Page of Wands, and you think, haven't heard anything, am I ever going to hear anything? Pay attention to how your body responds when you think about it. Do you feel in your heart of hearts, maybe this is going to be it's coming for you? This is something you should do? Or do you get nauseous or, you know, your gut doesn't feel great? That's what it's basically trying to tell you. Pay attention to how it makes you feel. And also, when you finally do hear about that position, when you finally do get offered, for those of you who are unemployed or those of you that finally have something come their way, remember, listen to your intuition. How does your gut feel about that situation? Is it going forward? Is it feeling okay? Or is it starting to feel full of dread? Judging by the oracle cards, I'm thinking this should be making you feel good, this situation. You just need to be a little patient with it because sometimes when they're doing something like this, like I say, other factors are at play behind the scenes that you can't see necessarily. So the good news is, folks, pile three, again, there's an offer coming, but it could very well be held up for a little while longer. So don't despair. You've got the time, you can wait. In the meantime, if you're not working, keep looking. You will eventually hear something. Right, pile three, I'm going to leave that with you, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. And I will hope to see you in my next reading. And bye for now.